But I also met a young man from Ogun State here not long ago who came to my house in Abuja and said, I don't want anything from you, sir, I just want to know you. And I said, what do you do? He told me he's a farmer. You are? Yes, he said. And that he sells foreign exchange. I said, oh really? Yes. What do you grow? Believe this, ewedu, ugu, pawpaw. Every plane leaving Lagos Airport for UK goes empty because Nigerians don't carry loads abroad. It's when they're coming back, they have too much excess luggage. So the cargo hold is empty. And he puts his goods there. And believe me, if he tells you the figures he earns from ewedu and ugu and okra and these vegetables, you will not believe him. He makes money. Good money. So young people, before you reach my age and acquire the gray hair on my head, let me say to you, you have to join and participate in agriculture. Why? Our population is rising very fast. By 2050, Nigeria will be 450 million, if not more. The world will have 9 billion people. Nigeria will have 5% of that population. Nigeria will be the 3rd most populated country on planet Earth. 75% of the population would have migrated to the cities, leaving 25% in the villages. Question I want to ask, can 25% of the populace feed itself and feed 75% in the cities? I doubt it. And since I'll not be around to worry with you then, how do you young people hope to feed yourselves? Because most of you will be in the city. Where will the cassava and the yams and the beans and the rice and the wheat come from? Where will the chicken come from? So in coming into agriculture, it's also in your own enlightened self-interest to participate. Ogun State is West Africa's poultry capital. And yet, poultry can't survive without maize and soybeans. And we're not growing enough maize and soybeans. We need 2.5 million tons of soya for local consumption. And the Chinese are asking us, if we can, to sell them 5 million tons of soya. The Chinese are asking us for cassava chips. And Ogun State can do wonders here. The reason why cassava chip export to China is not profitable is because of transportation costs from the north and other parts of the southwest. You are close enough to take that market. We are lobbying with the Chinese now to remove the duty of 5% on Nigerian cassava chips because they also offer duty-free importation to Thailand. The reason why they should give us a duty-free status is because our cassava has 10% more viscosity and starch than Thai cassava. And they know it, and they're asking for it. Let's take up that challenge. Ogun State can do a great deal in sugarcane in the Papalanto area of the state. And bananas. The banana trade is big. There was even a banana war in quotes between the US and Europe not too long ago. Ogun State can do well in long fiber cotton, in vegetables, in rice. We consume 7 million tons of rice every year. And what is 1 million tons of cassava? 1 million tons of cassava will fill up 33,334 trailers of 30 tons each. 33,334 trailers. If you line the trailers up with no space in between, the line-up will stretch 495 kilometers. 1 million tons. We need 7 of that each year. And in another 5 years, we probably need 8 million tons. And by 2050, I don't know how many tons you will need, because I won't be around to worry with you. We need palm produce, palm oil, palm kernel oil, and even palm kernel shell. The shell of the palm kernel could become the most expensive export item from here when you convert it to activated carbon. It's in demand, high demand in industry. We need ethanol from cassava. We need industrial starch, which Mr. Kumantaros mentioned. And to produce starch, we need a lot of cassava. You need 4 tons of cassava to produce 1 ton of cassava starch. We need glucose, we need fructose, we need lactose, all from cassava. And for ethanol, we spend $480 million a year on importation. But to do all that, we need improved varieties of cassava, which IITA is working hard on. We need extension services, and we need powerful agricultural cooperatives. The farmers have to be organized. And Your Excellency, agriculture from now on must be all year round, not rain-fed. The rains can come sometimes too early, too little, or too late, too much. We need earth dams everywhere, so farmers can grow food all year round, including maize and soybeans, and they can produce fish. And one last one, Your Excellency, we need to reform the local government system. The local government system we have today was put in place again by Chief Olusegun Obasanjo in 1976. The local governments are no longer functioning, nationwide almost, except maybe in a few states. They arrive on payday and disappear after salaries. They can barely grade a village road, repair a hospital, rebuild a school, repair a market, and yet they get a huge chunk of allocation from the Federation account. We, the political leadership, cannot continue to play the ostrich, pretending that everything is well by burying our heads in the sand. If that system isn't working, we must either review it or decide what to do with it. It's not enough to pay wages out to people who do nothing and complain about brokerage. The God we serve must be a very busy man or woman. He has no time for idlers who waste their resources and blame him for their misery. That system must be reformed, because if it is not, rural development will never take place. Our ministry is the Ministry of Agriculture and Rural Development, but our budget is 1.6% of the annual budget. How do we take care of rural development and take care of agricultural development at the same time? And why should we if the local governments were working? That is their business. So, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I think we must quickly recognize that our development effort can never go really far if we do not involve the rural areas. And the business of the rural areas is essentially agriculture. And young people who are moving from the villages to the cities today are moving because they are very distressed. Many have graduated and have had to return to their parents for a second childhood, asking for shoes, recharge cards and so on, because there's nothing else to do. They are angry and very frustrated, even with us, their parents. They may not say so out of politeness and African culture. That is not to say that they are very happy. I gave this same warning 16 years ago in Kaduna, talking to a group, 2,000 northern politicians who gathered, and I warned them about Boko Haram. I told them that violence was coming, wearing the face of religion. I told them emirs would be killed in their palaces, and that many big men would be refugees in Abuja, unable to go home. I'm not very proud that my warnings came true, but they did. We've got to take care of young people as quickly as possible, so they don't take care of us in a different manner. We have to create jobs in agriculture and agro-processing. In our ministry, we have a program called LIFE. We want to spread agro-processing industries deep into villages across Nigeria. Rice mills, oil mills, cassava mills, little processing plants. So the poor widow in the village can be part of life. So she too can go somewhere and come back home with as little as 500 naira, 1,000 naira, every so often. What they're asking for isn't much, but their total exclusion is a threat to Nigeria's survival. When you go to church in the village and they bring the collection box, if you're a Christian, look in that box and see the category of currencies you find. 10 naira notes, 5 naira notes. If you see a 50 naira note, then somebody must have come from Lagos or Abeokuta. Now I ask you, what do you do with a 5 naira note now? Maybe one tom-tom. But that's what they have. And we must not forget, these are the same people we go to during elections and ask them to line up for us. And they line up. And we induce them with Maggi cubes, salt, Indomie, and what have you. In some states like Ogun here, industry and industrial growth is actually affecting people positively. The jobs are increasing. In many other states, there are no industrial projects, there are no jobs, there's an abundance of anger and frustration among young people. So let me round up by saying this. There are 3 serious industries for us to get into as quickly as possible. The elite and the villager alike. Industry number 1, agriculture. Industry number 2, agriculture. And finally, industry number 3, agriculture. And for those of you in politics, or aspiring to go into politics, please find a second address. A plantation in your village, a small agri project somewhere, none too intensive that you can't manage because you're busy. A plantation is good. Cashew nuts, palm trees, avocado pears. Make sure you clear it before the dry months. Someday, when politics is no longer working, you return to your old address. Because of all the legislative chambers in the world, the most powerful one is not the US Congress, nor the Nigerian Senate. It is the stomach. God bless you all.
A beautiful one who deserves a standing ovation.